Okay, some facts about elephants. Generally, they live to be about 50 or 60 years old. They reach maturity when they're around 20. The way you can tell the difference between African and Asian elephants is by their ears. During Mother Teresa's life, she touched thousands of souls. Here in Worcester, hundreds of people came to say their final goodbyes to this most extraordinary woman. This wasn't the first time the police have visited this address. Neighbors say authorities have answered many calls complaining of the couple's public intoxication. Okay, today's weather is probably keeping away a lot of the big crowds, but I hear from a very good source that it's supposed to be beautiful the rest of the weekend. So make sure you head on down here, because if you don't, you'll be missing out on a lot of fun. Good evening, I'm Liza Benedict.
I'm Martin Moranz. Topping our news tonight, a tragic accident in Worcester claims the life of an 8-year-old boy.
The child was playing with friends yesterday when a guardrail fell and crushed him to death. Tonight, his family is asking the city how this tragedy could have happened.
Nothing will bring back my baby, now the loss of my child. I gotta go on with this tragedy for the rest of my life.
Friends and family are gathering around Linda Ortez to provide some comfort after the loss of her 8-year-old boy. Jose Santiago was on his way to the neighborhood pool Tuesday with some friends when he stopped to play on the side of the road. But the game turned tragic when a loose guardrail fell and pinned him to the ground. Witnesses say it took 3 men to lift the pole off Jose. Estimations that the weight go as high as 500 pounds. That's why it's hard to believe a little boy would have the strength to topple such a heavy pole. But as you can see here, it's completely rusted through.
It appears that the 2 middle posts were not attached to anything. They had rotted away. And the 2 end posts appear to be the sole remaining support of the barrier.
Police have ruled the death accidental. They are still investigating, but family members say it's an accident that should never have happened, and if the city was doing its job, it wouldn't have.
Why can't the city fix it up? Yeah. It's their mess up, not ours.
But while the grown-ups feel sure of who should take responsibility for the loose and rusted guardrail, Jose's cousin is blaming himself.
I thought it was my fault he died.
Why'd you think that?
Because I shook and it fell.
Linda wants to thank the men who lifted the pole and the woman who attempted to revive her child. She just moved to Worcester 3 days ago with 2 of her sons and their father. Her other children will be joining her soon. In the meantime, she has no money to bury her youngest child or to even set up a fund with a bank. NewsWatch 3 spoke with City Manager Tom Hoover tonight. He says the family has the city's deepest sympathies. In the meantime, he is waiting for a full police report to tell him exactly what happened. After more than a month in captivity, 2 Worcester hawks were released back into the wild today. The New England Science Center had been taking care of the baby hawks after they were trying to learn how to fly in downtown Worcester. They were born on the ledge of a law firm in downtown Worcester, which was fine until they tried to learn how to fly. The New England Science Center took them in after people interfered with the birds' several unsuccessful attempts at flight. Officials say if they had been left alone, they probably would have been fine.
In suburban areas, if you see a bird flopping around, the best thing is to just leave it alone. They're not orphaned. Mom and dad are around, and they'll just do what they need to do to make sure that it's a big, healthy bird.
The birds have spent the past 4 weeks in Rutland being taken care of by a new father. John Spalding has been preparing them for freedom by making sure they know how to fly and how to catch live food.
First, train them to catch dead food, quite honestly, and then getting them to go after slower food and then healthy food.
Since the hawks have been here, John would take them out several times a week on this leash. He would attach this end to a tether on the hawk's leg. That would give them 150 feet of freedom. The purpose was to get them ready for today's flight. Now it was the big moment. After a little effort, the door to the hawk's cage was opened. The female took off right away, but the male scoped out the scene before trying out his wings. They didn't go far, but that's okay with John. He wants them to feel free to come back anytime.
With any luck, they'll know that they can come back for food if they're not having any luck, or had enough practice to do it on their own. I'll leave food out for them here, and hopefully they'll just come back to the roost.
Officials from the Science Center say the birds are in great health, and they have high hopes the hawks will survive just fine in the wild. Good evening, I'm Liza Benedict.
I'm Martin Morenz. Topping our news tonight, a daring robbery is performed in downtown Worcester.
The thieves struck in the middle of the day on a busy street in front of several witnesses. Guaranteed Jewelers on Main Street was the target. The owner says two males dressed all in black threw a stone through the store's window. The two men then started scooping up the display jewelry. The owner chased them, but they got away in a stolen car.
Kids, nobody get hurt. That's what I was glad, and police did a really good job. They all shows up right in time. So the kid, you know, it scared me, just the noise, everything what just happened, and I was worried somebody don't get hurt or something.
This is the first time the owner has ever been robbed in 16 years of business. He says he will now be putting bulletproof glass in the front window.
Well, Liza, we have some severe weather coming into Worcester County. Actually, the National Weather Service has just issued a tornado watch for Worcester County up until 10 o'clock tonight.
Now that means the possibility of severe thunderstorms, gusty wind, and hail.
Now we should report, we just got word that about a half hour ago a tornado has touched down in Great Barrington, Massachusetts. We don't have much information of the extent of injuries or damage, but of course we'll keep you updated on that.
The important thing is to stay calm and see what's happening from here. Meteorologist Mark Rosenthal has more now in tonight's forecast. Okay, ready? Okay. 3, 2, 1. These piglets are the first generation of the genetically altered animals in this experiment. They're still being evaluated to see if they will eventually... My God, they're strong! Okay. All right.
You might want to back right.
Okay. Ready?
Okay.
3, 2, 1. These piglets are the first generation of genetically altered animals in this experiment. They're still being evaluated to see if they will express the gene that will allow their organs to eventually be accepted by a human body. Okay?
Okay.